Is the CLE 450 a get it or skip it vehicle? We're showcasing the 2025 Mercedes-Benz CLE 450 4MATIC Cabriolet in Obsidian Black with MB Tech Brown interior. The C-Class and E-Class combined, giving us a coupe or a convertible 0.6 inches lower with clearance compared to the C-Class. But is this going to be enough to be a get it or skip it vehicle? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to compare this against the competition. I'm going to throw in some pros and cons to really emphasize whether it is something that you should option or maybe you should pass. The CLE starts off with the aerodynamic shark nose forward leaning front end with a long slung hood, flat LED headlights, and because this is the pinnacle trim, digital lighting for the front. The lower is going to carry on with the 3-point badges on the air pocket. The optional AMG line package is on the CLE 300 or the CLE 450, and that adds the AMG exterior design elements. And the cloth top takes about 20 seconds. You can open it at speeds up to 37 miles per hour. And with it down, you could go up to 130 miles per hour because of the way it's constructed. Underneath the hood receives a 3.0 liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged with a 48-volt mild hybrid technology. That's producing 375 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9G Tronic automatic transmission. Now, Mercedes is quoting that this convertible can go to a 0 to 60 at 4.2 seconds, which will be faster than BMW, Audi, and Genesis, which they don't even have a convertible variant. Same thing with Cadillac. That's why this becomes that sweet spot, because when you're considering you're getting an E-Class, but then look at the MSRP, it's kind of a discount because now you're getting all those luxury amenities, you get some performance, and then you're getting the sporty style of the C-Class blended in. With 20-inch multi-spoke wheels, 4MATIC is the all-wheel drive configuration, and that's achieving 23 mpgs for the city, 30 mpgs for the highway. So when you're considering you're getting that blend and it's a convertible, for me, it's a win-win. 4-wheel independent with sport tuning, 4-link front suspension, a 5-arm multi-link rear suspension. And the beauty about this trim is you're getting 120 horsepower more than that 4-cylinder turbocharged, about 2 seconds quicker. This is one reason why I would get it right off the bat. But a reason why I might skip it is they offer an AMG 53, which has 68 horsepower more, and it's about 4.4 to 0.5 seconds quicker on a 0 to 60. But then when I'm thinking about price, giving me another reason why I would go this route. $83-ish thousand, the specs that we're at. When you start talking about BMW and Audi, those vehicles taper into the $100,000 mark right when you're doing an S or a M Sport variant. So if you go to a full M or an RS, you're going to be well over 100 grand, which makes this a sweet spot vehicle. And it's optioned with 2 different trims, but then the reason why I would skip it is you have to a la carte a lot of features for this vehicle to make it what it is, and the price will escalate pretty quick. Digital lighting comes into the rear, 360-degree reverse camera because of the pinnacle trim, front and rear parking sensors. The lower gets the fake exhaust tips, which I like what Audi's doing. They're actually showing real exhaust on the rear instead of giving these little panels and tucking the exhaust underneath. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. But is it a get it or skip it vehicle? For me, I'm a convertible guy. So I like that Mercedes is giving us a blend between the C and the E, because usually when you look at an E-Class, especially when you're getting a convertible, you start thinking, well, it's for an older generation. Mixing it with the C-Class makes it feel more young and hip, giving me the reason why I would get this. Power trunk lid going into 9.6 cubic feet of storage. You get a little storage net here. LED interior lights. This folds out, so it's a little cargo tray. Underneath the floor, check this out. You actually get a little storage. But unfortunately, to put the top down, this has to fold down. So top to bottom, you're gonna lose some storage space, and I kind of wish this design was altered. I mean, for 2025, we could figure out a way to put this soft top in the trunk. Split fold the rear bench, you just pull these tabs right here. And that's gonna split at a 50-50 split to maximize the cargo capacity to the CLE 450. But we need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note, even though this is fake exhaust tips. The key fob to the CLE 450 convertible. MB Tech is what we're getting with this pinnacle trim. Heated, ventilated seats, that's a standalone package. You get the neck warmers, memory seats for the front, And with the Pinnacle trim, you're going to get the heads-up display, the augmented navigation, the premium navigation, and a 360-degree reverse camera. Circular air vents is going to be standard on all with the contrast stitch with the light silver metallic inlays. It's going to be a driver-focused setup, but even the passenger still has a sufficient amount of room. Burmester sound system comes with the Pinnacle trim. And there's some cool things about this 11.9-inch touchscreen. I'll show you. Let's fire it up. You can adjust it forward 40 degrees, and you can adjust it back. The temperature
has already been set to minimum.
And you can adjust it back to 15 degrees. It has voice recognition, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Hit onto the comfort, and here is the kinetics for your seats, the ambient lighting. Go back into the home, and you have your browser with dual climate control settings, finger recognition, driving mode dynamics, which you got a total of 4 different driving modes here. When you put it in a sport, you can hear that engine just tick up a little bit. Flipping it to reverse, this is the Pinnacle trim. You're going to have that 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. And I am a huge fan of Mercedes technology when it comes to their 360-degree reverse camera, because I mean, you get this little circle that goes around it. You could take it off, but I prefer it on. And you can also move around the whole vehicle so you can see any imperfections. The reason why I like this is because when something comes close, any type of object or vehicle, you can tell right off the bat. And if there's any glare, you can adjust the screen. So they have really made it as intuitive as possible. Ambient lighting is going to be in the circular air vents, the heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror, more ambient lighting up top, flat bottom.
You need online voice control for this service. Unfortunately, I can't.
Flat bottom, perforated on the side, multi-function with the paddle shifts. Now these are going to be for the gauge cluster, which is a 12.3 digital reader that is configurable. You can change the whole layout here, and I mean, literally it would make like a whole tutorial if you do so. I usually leave it in classic. This side here will go for the 11.9 infotainment screen in the center. Slide this open to your wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C ports, cup holders, and look, when you push this, it expands out, and you can also adjust this so you can have different size for your lattes or for your espressos, because we're in a Mercedes. You want to enjoy this driver-focused setup. It's going to be a little bit more sporty. Opens up into a medium-sized storage pocket with 2 USB-C ports, and you're going to see those sport pedals and a lot of the C and E-Class mixture. So it keeps it sporty and luxurious. Headroom is more than enough. Dashboard and door panel configuring together. I like the two-tone. What's new this year, because we have the MB Tech, the steering wheel is MB Tech. It's not going to be leather unless it's specified. This is a heated steering wheel. Going back to the door, you're going to get that piano black. It's going to be soft to touch where it needs to be with the aluminum inlays, one touch up and down, and this is even more clever. Instead of putting buttons everywhere, you click here for this side rear mirror, or you click here. So it's a little bit more minimalistic with a medium-sized storage pocket. You go to the back, pull this. It's going to electronically move forward, and we're going to see at 6'3", is it doable for a short commute? Fitting 2 back here. You get cup holders, a mint holder. You have some armrests kind of here on the side. And I actually like the bolstering to these seats because it's very sport derived, but only on one side. It doesn't come here. So that's a con to me. Circular air vents coming to the back. It's basically the same as a C-Class. Now for the moment of truth. Put the seats back. It does kind of contour inwards, and it stops, adjusts forward. I have a touch of knee space and kind of like just the elbow to fall off whenever you're doing some performance. Headroom isn't too bad, but we're in the state of Florida. It's hot. So now plenty of headroom, and then you're probably thinking, well, I'm worried about the wind. Well, that's why you have that right there, that you just push this button here and you can activate it or you can lower it. So that way when you're fitting 2 back here, they can enjoy the ride. 375 horsepower with a 0 to 60. Mercedes-Benz is quoting at 4.2 seconds. And like I say in most of my reviews, you could probably get it a little bit quicker, but a few tenths of a second isn't going to change the ball game. 369 pound-feet of torque, 48-volt mild hybrid technology. We got it in sport mode. One thing that I will say with these German cars, especially when it comes to these 48-volt mild hybrid technology, Mercedes and BMW kind of do the same thing. When you're coming to a roll stop around 5 miles per hour, the car will just die. The nice thing with Mercedes, though, it's a little bit more seamless. So when you push the throttle or gas pedal, you don't actually feel a transition. quiet in the cabin. All I hear is the exhaust. And I like the exhaust that's coming. Suspension is smooth. Even though you sit lower than the C-Class, because of the essence of the E-Class blended in, it's a lot more soft of a drive. It's a little bit longer than the C-Class. Interior space, as you saw, you get a little bit more for the back, which is great. Steering response is very light. Braking could be a little bit better. I feel like it does feel a little heavy. But the exhaust that just filters in all the time, I really do appreciate that. This is a soft top, and I'm not hearing hardly any road noise. So if you're thinking, well, I really want the coupe, Hawkeye, I don't want the convertible, you can go this route, giving me another reason why I would get it. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, is you're getting a lot of technology that's implemented in the vehicle. That exhaust note, and I'm not even really flooring it, quick 0 to 60s. It's actually the fastest in class. I don't need to go to an E-Class, so I still feel hip and young. I hate to say it that way, but typically when you go into an E or S class, usually people start thinking, well, the person's probably 50 years old that buying that type of vehicle. You're not gonna have that when you go into the CLE. It's comfortable and composed. You want it to be more quiet? Click onto your buttons for your dynamics, and you can put it into comfort, or you can go into eco, and then you won't really hear that exhaust note hardly at all. But I feel like it takes away from the fun a little bit, taking me to some cons. I like that the screen tilts. It is driver focused, but it is a little bit tighter because of the blend of the C-Class that comes in. The back seat, like I was saying, it only contours sporty on either the right or the left side. They should have kind of done that on both sides to make it more of like a sport seat bolstering in the back. I think it would have just gave more of that wow factor to the rear occupants. I like that you only have 2 trims to choose from. It makes it easy, and you get a ton more power when you're going into this inline 6-cylinder opposed to the inline 4-cylinder. But I feel like this should have been the AMG variant, and they should have gave us a 63, but let me know your thoughts on that one. I'm all right with the circular air vents because I know that I'm getting C-Class components, but I see more C-Class components in the interior than E-Class. I wish the brakes were a little bit tighter. Now we're gonna check for the lag. We got it in sport. We're going about 25. Pretty seamless. And I'm just really blown away by how quiet it is. I mean, Audi is going through a refresh, and BMW has just been changing their vehicle nearly every year. Now we're gonna check it out. Wow, that thing just opens up. You can daily this vehicle easy. There's not a lot of storage components through the interior of the cabin, but I'm expecting it to be a little bit more sporty because it's a convertible or coupe, whichever way you go. And if you're wanting it to be a little bit quicker, tick the box to the coupe. But for me, living in the state of Florida, I would go this route. Going back to the competition, BMW makes an excellent vehicle. By far, one of my favorites with dynamics because they got always a near 50-50 weight distribution. And Audi, they only have a Cabriolet when you go into the S5, which has been a carryover for a while for North America. We're supposed to get a 2025.5 model now and get the refresh, and then the 2026 will be the refresh. But that's not really comparable to this. So this outclasses Audi because they don't offer a convertible that would be comparable to this. And even though it's lower to the ground, look at this. I can still do some clearance. Now let's rock and roll. And you can go fast really quick to get your speeding ticket, giving me another reason why I would get this, because the performance is there. It feels smooth and composed, but yet it can open up beyond levels of the competition, and it's still luxurious for a price that's significantly discounted compared to anybody in its class. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video.